Hey honey bunnies, I figured before I started this video, I go ahead and make this disclaimer, because we all gonna be able to see it. So in this video, I could have scooched my wig to the right a few notches. I could have did a little, whatever. Just so. I'm making this to say, like, when you see it in reference to me, if we could just refer to this Jill Scott meme and treat me with love and tenderness and things of that nature, please. Thank you. I love you. Enjoy the video. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. How art thou? I hope thou art swell. I realized when I be doing my intros, I don't be saying my name. So hello, I'm Angela Akia. Emphasis on angels. I don't know. So today I was like, OMG, I want to do my makeup on camera. Hence, first part of this video. I was also like, OMG, let's talk about romance tropes and getting silly. One thing about it, I feel like, I don't know if I've discussed this on my channel, but I feel like you can probably get the gist from some of these videos somewhere, but I am a hopeless romantic. And I am an avid book reader. And you bet your tail it's romance books, okay? So today I wanted to talk about romance tropes in books or movies or shows, really. I guess just tropes overall in general, wherever tropes could be used. Because do I have some favorites? Yes, I do. Do I have some that I could care less for? Let's get started. I do have a mirror here. She's an elf. I'm gonna be looking at this to do my makeup. So if you're like, oh my gosh, you're not giving me eye contact, do you even love me? Let's chillax. Get into the natural edge with this tuck back. You can ask questions in the comments below, but this is not a tutorial. I'm just doing my makeup. But if you see something and you like something, you want to say something, say something. I guess we should do like a brief history of my books. Growing up, I used to read a lot. I was in like 5th grade with the 8th grade reading level. I remember that because my teacher wrote it on the board and was like, you guys need to do this. Get like her. And I was like, oh shit. Why are you making me a thing like for the hello? Growing up, I used to read like a lot of Diary of a Wimpy Kid, Dear Dumb Diary. I used to read Series of Unfortunate Events, the books called Children, things like that. And I also would read the books that my mama had. And now at the tender age of fucking 10 or 11, did I need to read these books? No, I did not. But did I? Yes, I did. I read this book when I was a youth. And if you know anything about this Zane book here, Zane is not for the kids. It's definitely not for the kids. But I was reading it. And that's just what it is. Like, that's what it is. I don't know what to tell you. Like, I could read words, then words were simple. I was knuckle deep. I don't know what to tell y'all. I also grew up reading Wattpad books. And if you know, girl, you know, girl. When I got older and started reading, like, published books and books you would get, I guess I'd say at the library or whatever have you, I kind of started preferring books written by Black authors with a Black female lead, because now I love me a Wattpad book, but you know what Wattpad loved? Wattpad loved a racially ambiguous curly hair, throw it up in a messy bun and go outside kind of girl. Do I fit that description now? And be serious. No, I do not. So when I got older, I was like, no, I want some representation and I want to feel like I can connect to these characters, even in the simple task of what your hair looks like on a lazy day. Which for me, it is a bonnet. It is not a messy bun. I cannot throw my real hair up in a messy bun. I mean, I can, but I gotta blow dry it. Girl, leave me alone. Media is for you to consume. So however you feel about it and however you want to feel about it, it's entirely yours to have, And that's how I want to feel. I want to see characters that look like me, and I want them to be enough so that way I know that I'm enough. Now, speaking of Wattpad, I feel like it would behoove me to not get into the tropes of the Wattpad books. I feel like it would behoove me, right? I was on the August Alsina mindless behavior. I was on the August Alsina fanfictions. And one thing about it, they loved them some ruckish and thuggish Mr. Alsina. I don't know what it was about this man, but the girls loved making him just girl. You know what? I loved it as well. I was a girl. I loved it too. I'm not going to act like it didn't give, you know, like it gave for me. So, you know, maybe they was on to something. They was on to something. This trope is something that I saw all the time in Wattpad books. Oh my God. It's the good girl, bad boy trope. Or the smart schoolgirl with the ruggish and thuggish, okay, hoodlum boy, wooty 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 woo. Wattpad loved that trope, for real. They really, really did. And let's get into it though, for real, because one thing about it, those girls were always so nervous, out the loop, out the mix. He was always the most notorious drug dealer in the city. He was always the most sought after man in the city, and for whatever reason, he want this young girl because, oh my gosh, she can pick up a book and she crosses her legs when she sits and she's timid. But I ain't gonna lie, me at the ripe age of 14, I used to eat that right on up, and I'd be like, oh my gosh, wow, like, where's my ruggish and thuggish guy? Where's my Cena? Like, come on now, like, let's get into her. Like, and then I got older, child. As an adult now, I'm 23, just keep that in mind. I feel like this trope only goes when it's like one the characters is of age, because that's one thing about Wattpad. The girl would be like 17, 16, because that was about probably our age, and the guy they was with was like 23, 24, 25, and as a 23-year-old, hello? The good girl bad boy trope only goes if he likes her personality outside of her being a good girl. Because when it's like, oh, I only like her because she's oblivious to me doing XYZ, or like, oh my God, I only like her because she's so sweet and innocent and naive, then for me, I feel like it falls flat. Because if you're messing with somebody in these, you know, spaces or whatever, eventually you're not going to be super naive. You're not going to be out the loop. And depending on how far you guys get, you may not be as good of a girl as you think. Because, you know, at least in the books, they end up having to help him with little stuff he doing and wooty 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 woo. And in my mind, it's like, so then, since she's not a good girl, and that's the reason you fell in love with her, since she's not as innocent as she was in the beginning, and that's the reason you fell for her, does it still hold that you're going to be in love with her, and that the next good girl that comes across that's oblivious to you and your lifestyle, you know what I mean? Like, is it still going to even stand? Because the whole reason you started liking Shorty was because she was quote-unquote not like other girls that you've been with, quote-unquote different, quote-unquote oblivious to your lifestyle, and it was fun for you. But now that she isn't oblivious, will the love still stand? The only way the trope works is if initially she catches your eye because she isn't what you're used to, and then they get to know the character and they develop their relationship between one another, because like, oh, they have common ground, they have common interests. Maybe she had her own, you know, judges against him in the beginning, same with him against her, and now they found a common ground in the love bonds, as opposed to, I like you because you're so different, and every time she makes a little joke that has nothing to do with his life, it's like, oh, you're so cute and different. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. So out of 10, to me, this trope is like a smooth, like, I'll give it like a 6. You know, I'm not gonna act like it's trash, you know, because it goes. Even if they don't develop the character and really the only things that bonds them is that she's, you know, oblivious, I'd give it a 6. You know, it's okay. It's cool. It held the Wattpad girlies down, and I'm not going to act like, you know, it didn't get me through a couple of my little days or whatever with this little trope. Let's go on to the next one, okay? Now, this trope here, I feel like I really be seeing it on like the 365 kind of shows, or like the 50 Shades of Grey, or like, I don't want to say kinky, but like the kinky the obsessed lover trope. For the most part, from what I've seen in my experience, this trope consists of an overly obsessed guy with a girl he barely knew that reminds him of some sort of something in his past, and all of a sudden he's in love with her. Everywhere she's at, he happens to appear. Everywhere she goes, there he is. And it's just like, hello? Police? Honestly, this is one of my least favorite tropes, because as a person who is regular damn degular, if I was outside and I saw a man everywhere I went, and it's not like a coinkydink, I don't know, like, how are you outside of my grandma's house? Like, there's no kind of nothing outside of here. Why are you over here? To me, that's police. That's authority. That's like, let's call the boys and let's get the people involved. And that's what I don't like about the trope, because it kind of like creates a hype about like obsession, or like stalkery behavior, and that's not my vibe. You know what I mean? Like, why would I want to be with you just because you're obsessed with me for whatever reason and you don't even know me yet? They'll see the girl one time at a coffee shop, then all of a sudden he ready to give it all and everything, and he want to marry her, and I'm like, you don't even know this girl and you're doing all of this. So it's like, imagine when y'all get knuckle deep or whatever, y'all get in a relationship and you start leaving. Is he not going to be super obsessive and try to follow you everywhere? Is it not going to teeter on borderline abuse? Just the overly obsessed guy with the, like, I'm trying to leave girl, but at the same time, I can't leave you alone because that schlong is schlonging. That stuff for me is not attractive. I have zero inkling in my body to be controlled or to be told any kind of anything or to be I don't feel like that. I don't feel like that. But if you feel like that and that's what you want, more power to you. But for me, I just don't want that. I don't want no relationship where the badunkadunks is so bussin' that I can't leave and it overcrowds every other red flag. Like, there be barely any green flags. The green flag is like he's rich and he buys her stuff, or like he's nice and he calls her pretty, and she maybe never really heard that growing up. And so now she's willing to stay with all these other shenanigans. Because what do they say? If he shenanigans once, he's gonna shenan again. And I can't with this. Let's get into the best friend to lover trope. Because you know what though? I love this one. I'm not gonna lie. This one is one of my favorite tropes when it's done reciprocatedly, right? Because a lot of times that I see this trope done, especially in movies, I feel like it's more so in movies than I've read. But in movies, they love the thing where the girl character or whatever, one of the best friends is so in love with the other best friend, and the other best friend is busy trying to get with somebody else. And then at the end, when it falls out left, things go trash and terrible, and it falls through for the other person. Now they want to get with the best friend like if it's backup, and the best friend just be with it. That's my problem with the trope in that regard. You shouldn't choose your best friend just because your person you wanted isn't like who you thought. You know what I mean? Because it always feels like, okay, now that's plan B now. It's plan B now. And I get it for the movie's sake, because it's just entertainment. It's for the movies. Like, I get it. But in a book, I'm not reading that. I'm about to change my lighting in here because it's getting a little too dark. And when we come back, you may be able to see more of my face. And I feel like let's be excited about it. I am back. The lighting has changed. And hopefully, y'all still look at me the same. Now let's get back into this best friends trope. If done correctly, genuinely, I really love the best friend trope. When it's a thing of, and I see this mostly in books. I don't know if I've seen a movie done like this before. If y'all have seen one, put it down below and I will for sure watch it, especially if they Afro mirror. But when it's a thing of a life shift happens or some sort of event occurs and the perspectives change for whatever reason, now when their best friend laughs, when their friend talks, or when their friend does this and that, it's different. It's hitting different. It's more like, oh, like, you're my best friend, but I love having you around. Oh, I love when you laugh. Oh, I love when you smile. Oh, I love when you do stupid, silly stuff. Oh, I don't like when you're mad at me. Oh, I don't like when you're away for so long. And this and this and this and this and this. But you know they're in love, and I love it. I love it. Oh my gosh, I really do. I love it when it's reciprocated, and I feel like more best friend stories should be told like that. I don't know, it's so sweet to me. It's so sentimental when it's done in the right way. Again, second choice best friend can kind of kiss my ass a little bit, but yeah. Ugh. I don't know, when I do this, I be thinking it like sets the stuff into the face. I don't know if it actually does that, but I hope so, because that's why I do it. Now, out of 10, I'll give the best friend to lovers. Honestly, I really love this trope. I really can't express that enough. Out of 10, I'm going to give it an 8 when it's done in the correct way. If it's the thing of the best friend chooses after the fact, it's still like a 7 to me, though. It's really not that bad. It's just sort of like, oh, now this. The next trope that I feel like this is a classic, the enemies to lovers trope. This, again, one of my favorites, but only if the enemy isn't a piece of shit. Now, I told you I'm a hopeless romantic. I love a good book. I love a movie. But something I've been getting into lately is K-dramas. And one thing about the K-dramas I have seen, They love an enemies to lover trope. For example, if you've ever seen Playful Kiss or Mischievous Kiss, in that show, the entire time before they get together and they get married, the entire series, everyone is telling her how dumb she is, how stupid she is, how useless she is, especially the guy that she was in love with. For whatever reason, she was still rocking with it. And eventually he fell in love with her and he got with her, whatever. But for me, you think you finna call me dumb and stupid and borderline abuse me and embarrass me in front of the homies, and you think I'm about to rock with you and fall in love with you no less? Girl, 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 girl. But that's the thing though about K-dramas, because it's a different like culture. I don't want to bash nobody's culture, you know, like if that's what they do out there, that's like the entertainment that they have at school. America does a lot of stuff that I ain't finna rock over there, you know, and I understand and I respect that. I'm not bagging it. I still really do love that K-drama. I'm not gonna lie, it go. Or like, I don't like the enemies to lovers trope where it's like a forced enemy. Like, you're not an enemy, you just don't like this guy, and you're contingent on misunderstanding him throughout the whole series of the book. Ooh, a good enemies to lovers would be example on Get a Life, Chloe Brown. This one, I'm not gonna spoil it. Read this book. I actually really, really love this book. They have an enemies to lovers trope where it's basically a misunderstandings, and instead of being committed to continue the misunderstanding, there's a series of events and they get to know each other more, and it's like, oh, you did this and I interpreted it as being rude, but really you were just nervous or you were shy or you were whatever. Like little normal day-to-day reasons, I guess, why someone may not particularly like you. Granted, in day-to-day life, someone shouldn't make you an enemy because they misunderstand things that you do. But it is normal and it's very realistic to be like, oh, like the first time I met you, you was being real quick and real rushed. I thought you were rude, but actually you were anxious and you were overstimulated. My romance preferences don't all have to be realistic, but I guess as I talk about this, maybe I do like realistic, like realism in the field or something, because I'm like, yeah, that is a lot of reasons why I don't like these tropes. But then I guess I'm a black woman, and so my world in general just is very, you gotta be realistic. Because come on now, it's a little dangerous if you're not, but that's another conversation for another day, girl. Something touching about finding characters be understood in ways that maybe they weren't before by their peers, and it's by the most, like, the person you would have least expected. Something to me is very heartwarming about that. And just in general, watching characters develop through a broadening of their perspectives and understanding of why people are the way they are and why the world operates the way it operates is very touching, very sweet, very kind. I really love that trope. So for that, I'll give it an 8. Another trope that I like,
the player versus love trope.
Deliver Us from Eva and Two Can Play That Game are the perfect movies to describe like this same trope, but like in different fonts. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? On Deliver Us from Eva, we have Ray. He's the player, super smooth, super suave way. He'll have your girl going with another girl, and they still like him-esque player. Okay, fine, bald-headed, eats spicy beans. That's a fine young man. Meets Eva, strong personality, secure in herself, boss woman, don't play that shit. Eva, Miss Gabrielle Union, that's a beautiful young woman. These two characters meet, and it's like Picasso in the studio. You know, it's Jacob Lawrence in the Renaissance. You dig what I'm saying? It's art, it's beauty, it's perfect. It's not a thing of, oh, I want to get with this woman because she isn't as sexually as me. It's a thing of, I just didn't feel the need to be tied down. And then I meet one, and now I'm tied down. You dig what I'm saying? And she did not all have to be any less sexually promiscuous. She did not all have to be any less of a strong woman. In fact, those are some of the qualities in which you like her. As a woman, I feel like it's very empowering to see not only Black women on screen be strong and be self-assured and be businessy and be, you know, independent and okay in their independence, still find love, but also in general to see that you don't have to change any facet of yourself to find love from people that you are actually attracted to. You dig what I'm saying? I just love it. I eat it up. I'm talking about ribs, baked beans, mac and cheese. I eat her up because I really love that trope, and they did it so well in Deliver Us from Evil. That's one of my favorite movies since I was a kid to this day, and it will probably never change, and I hope it don't. Two Can Play That Game. We have Morris Chestnut, whose character I don't remember, but he's a cool, suave, businessy black man in love with his woman, Miss Vivica Fox, whose name in the movie again, I don't know. She's the player, but she's trying to play him. But it ends up not working out. Because two can play that game. Y'all don't need to play a game. It's love. It's life. It's communication. Get into it. It's a different take on the player spectrum where being a player doesn't work out. But the love betwixt them each still has a way of coagulating, and I don't know. Super good. I love her. I don't even know if I got into the trope, but with those examples, it's a 10 out of 10. Knock it out the park. Throw my legs to the wall. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love those tropes. And those are two black love movies, and they came out in the 90s. I feel like the 90s had a really nice run with black love and romance movies, and showcasing it in different ways. I really love seeing representation on screen. I'm not really too big on romance movies where it's not black people. Say what you want, but you're not gonna get it unless you get it, and that just is what it is. Another trope I would say is, this trope to me really blows mine. I don't hate it because I understand like its relevance, but it's so annoying. The miscommunication at the last second trope. I hate that. Oh my god. Things will be going so well, so smooth, so wonderful. Oh my god, you're in love, whatever. The next thing you know, someone hears something completely out of context, and instead of just communicating like a grown-ass adult and being like, hey, I heard this. What was this about? They go and they flee. And it's like, but however, I know every time they have a trope like that, they just want to set up a good grand finale, a big, beautiful love gesture, whatever, or at least stall so that way they can drag it on until the next book or the next episode or the next movie or whatever. In the first Shrek, they had the miscommunication trope where Fiona was talking to Donkey about how she's an ogre and she's nasty and disgusting and whatever. And Shrek overheard her, not knowing that she turns into an ogre, and thought like, oh my god, she's talking about me. I'm nasty and disgusting, and I was gonna tell this girl that I love this girl. And then they beefed and they broke up. But it made for a beautiful finale. You dig what I'm saying? So I understand why this trope is in movies. And it annoys me because it's like, oh my god, you guys, be adults and talk about it. But at the same time, every time the trope pops up, I know they're going to get back together eventually. So I don't really be tripping too bad when they be having these tropes. But it's just sort of annoying. You know, it's sort of like you could have just asked boo-boo. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Out of 10, I give the miscommunication trope like a 4. Only because, like, for real, it won't need it. Like, for real, it won't need it. Y'all just wanted a finale, and y'all needed them to have a reason to beef because things is going too well. And you could have said that. You just could have said that. I believe that is all that I have to say today about that. I really just wanted to chit chat about romance stuff and about books and about whatever. If you've read any of the books or saw any of the movies that I brought up today, let me know in the comments down below what you like, or even yourself. Like, what's your favorite trope? What's your favorite book or movie about romance? What was the trope? What did it give? And why? Like, why do you like it, sister? And recommend me some stuff, because for real, I really love love. I'm really a hopeless romantic. I kind of can't say that enough. So I want to see more stuff about love, like, and especially if it is black or black main character based or written by a black author. I love supporting my people. Shout out my people. That is all I have today. Here's the zesty beats. I hope you found something in this. Again, it wasn't a tutorial, but if you guys do want me to actually do like a tutorial and like tell you stuff about stuff, leave that below. Will I do that? Maybe. I don't really do tutorials, but I'd be down if you wanted one. It's just because, I don't know, like the tutorial voice and you gotta be all professional, whatever. I'm not gonna give you that. So if you ask for Angel to do your tutorial, you're gonna get a tutorial from Angel, okay? I'm just gonna talk because I tried to do tutorials back in the day and it wasn't fun. Which is why I don't do tutorials, because I don't do a tutorial voice. And I don't want someone to click on a tutorial thinking they're gonna get a soothing, like, do the this and the that. And I'm in your face like, girl, I don't know, because that's how I talk. If you want me to do one, let me know, and I can do your tutorial in the way that I do tutorials. I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Like, subscribe, comment, and all the things if you so choose. And like I say, and like I always say, be kind to others, and at the very least, be kind to yourself because you deserve it. And why would you not deserve kindness? I'll see you in the next one.